Weeds and pests are common causes of poor crops. A stem borer has laid its eggs on a maize leaf. The stem borer is a pest which is related to the European corn borer. The agricultural advisor explains how dangerous the stem borer is for maize. The young caterpillars first eat the leaves, then they bore into the stem and excavate it with their powerful mouthparts. The maize plant is hardly able to grow cobs, and the yield is considerably reduced. In many locations where maize is cultivated, the attractive striga weed proliferates. Like a climbing plant, it wraps itself around the roots and almost chokes the maize. Together, striga and the stem borer can wipe out an entire crop. The ISIPE Research Centre has found surprising ways of controlling them. Rizpa Ozo is one of the farmers in Mbita. She has used the so-called push-pull strategy for the first time and proudly shows off the result to representatives of the Department of Agriculture. Napier grass is one part of the push-pull strategy. Rizpa Ozo planted a 2-yard wide belt of it right round her maize field. The napier grass acts as a kind of trap. Its odour exerts a powerful attraction on the stem borer. Once they have bored into it, most caterpillars die in the aggressive mucilage that the grass forms. The grass itself suffers hardly any damage. Rizpa Ozo's son helps her harvest the crop. Because she has no cows herself, she sells the grass to a neighbour. With the money this brings in, she can afford to send her children to school. Rizpa Ozo also plants desmodium. She sows it between the maize rows. The odour of desmodium drives away the stem borer. This is the push-pull strategy. Napier grass attracts the stem borer, desmodium repels it. In addition, desmodium fertilizes the poor quality soil, protects it against erosion, and almost totally suppresses striga. So the maize flourishes. A field that hasn't benefited from push-pull. The maize is hardly a yard high and is infested with striga and the stem borer. These are Africa's worst threats to maize. But for Rizpa Ozo, such problems are in the past.
I have more money before I get this, because now I can get money from this napier grass. If I sell it first round, I get at least 2,000, and that is money to me. This money I pay to my child in the school fee. Also, the little I get from desmodium also, I add to that one. Maize I get now properly, and we get food. Now we cannot starve.
For the inhabitants of Mbita, life has become a little more bearable. The push-pull strategy is totally independent of genetically modified seed, pesticides and chemical fertilizers. It is indeed a fascinating solution. The International Centre of Insect Physiology and Ecology in Nairobi is responsible for the success